How does the most powerful man in history fall in love? Picture this. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, commander of the greatest armies ever assembled, ruler of 60 million souls, sits alone in his tent during a military campaign. But he's not writing battle plans or imperial decrees. He's writing about his wife. Faustina, he writes in his private diary, "You're my harbor in every storm, my light in every darkness. Yet I love you not as a possession to be owned, but as a soul to be cherished." This wasn't ordinary love. This was Stoic love, and it was revolutionary. While other emperors collected wives like trophies, Marcus Aurelius discovered something profound. True power in love comes not from possession, but from liberation, not from holding tight, but from letting go, not from demanding loyalty, but from inspiring it. Today, we're going to explore the 7 secret love rules that Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus developed, ancient wisdom that solves the deepest mysteries of modern romance. Because if you've ever wondered how to love deeply without losing yourself, how to build intimacy without suffocating connection, how to navigate jealousy, attachment, and the beautiful chaos of human hearts, then these imperial love secrets will transform everything you thought you knew about romance. The imperial love story. Before we dive into the rules, you need to understand the extraordinary context of Marcus and Faustina's love story, because it defies everything we think we know about power and romance. Marcus Aurelius became emperor in 161 AD, inheriting not just an empire, but the absolute right to have anything and anyone he desired. Roman emperors before him had harems, concubines, and treated marriage as political strategy. But Marcus was different. He had been studying Stoic philosophy since youth, and when he married Aeneas Galeria Faustina Minor, known in history simply as Faustina, he applied philosophical principles to the most unphilosophical emotion, love. Their marriage lasted 30 years, until her death in 175 AD. During that time, Marcus wrote more about love, loss, and devotion in his private meditations than about his military victories or political achievements. But here's what made their love revolutionary. Marcus, who could have controlled every aspect of her life, chose instead to set her free. He, who could have demanded her constant presence, gave her space to be herself. He, who could have been consumed by imperial paranoia about her loyalty, chose trust. "I love her," he wrote, "not because she is mine, but because she is herself." This wasn't weakness. It was the ultimate expression of strength, and it became the foundation for what the Stoics discovered about authentic love. The 7 Stoic love rules. Rule 1, love the person, not your projection. "We love people not for who they are," Marcus observed, "but for who we imagine them to be." This is the beginning of all romantic suffering. The first rule of Stoic love is radical acceptance. Seeing your partner exactly as they are, not as you hope they'll become or fear they might be. Marcus wrote about Faustina. "She is human, with human flaws and human beauty. I will not demand divinity from mortality, nor perfection from humanity." This doesn't mean lowering standards or accepting mistreatment. It means loving reality instead of fantasy. When you love someone's authentic self rather than your projection of who they should be, you create space for real intimacy. Modern application. Instead of trying to change your partner, ask yourself, am I in love with this person or with my idea of who this person could become? Rule 2, practice loving detachment. The art of loving, Seneca wrote to his wife, is learning to hold someone close while holding them lightly. This is perhaps the most misunderstood Stoic principle. Detachment doesn't mean caring less. It means caring without being controlled by the outcome of that care. Marcus could love Faustina deeply while accepting that death, circumstances, or even her own choices might separate them. This acceptance didn't diminish his love. It purified it. When you practice loving detachment, you stop trying to control your partner's feelings, choices, or future. You love them for who they are today, not for what they might give you tomorrow. Rule 3. Embrace impermanence to deepen love. Remember that your beloved is mortal. Marcus reminded himself daily. This thought should make you love them more, not less. The Stoics use memento mori, remembering death, not to become morbid, but to become present. When you truly accept that every relationship is temporary, you stop taking moments for granted. Marcus wrote, "Each morning I remember that Faustina and I have finite time together. This makes every conversation precious, every touch sacred, every shared silence a gift. This wasn't about being dramatic or depressing. It was about being awake. When you remember that love is impermanent, you invest in it more deeply. Rule 4. Choose virtue over validation. Do not love to be loved in return, Epictetus taught. Love because loving is virtuous, regardless of whether that love is reciprocated. The Stoics discovered that seeking validation through love creates insecurity, neediness, and manipulation. Instead, they chose to love as an expression of their own character, not as a strategy for getting something back. Marcus demonstrated this during difficult periods in his marriage. Rather than withholding love when he felt unappreciated, he chose to love more consistently. Rather than using love as a bargaining chip, he offered it as a gift. This doesn't mean being a doormat. It means loving from strength rather than desperation. Rule 5. Give freedom to receive love. The more tightly you grasp water, Seneca observed, the more it slips through your fingers. The same is true of love. This rule challenges everything modern culture teaches about relationships. The Stoics discovered that possessiveness kills intimacy, while freedom creates deeper connection. Marcus gave Faustina intellectual freedom to disagree with him, social freedom to maintain her own friendships, and emotional freedom to express her authentic feelings. Paradoxically, this freedom made her want to choose him more consistently. When you stop trying to possess your partner, you create space for them to choose you freely. And love that's chosen daily is stronger than love that's demanded constantly. Rule 6. Transform jealousy into appreciation. Jealousy reveals not the strength of love, Marcus wrote, but the weakness of trust in yourself, in your partner, and in the relationship itself. The Stoics didn't pretend jealousy doesn't exist. They developed practical methods for transforming it. Instead of seeing other people as threats, Marcus learned to see them as reminders of Faustina's attractiveness. Instead of focusing on what he might lose, he focused on what he was grateful to have. When jealousy arose, Marcus asked himself, is this feeling based on evidence or insecurity? What would virtue look like in this situation? How can I respond from strength rather than fear? This practice transformed jealousy from a destructive force into useful information about areas where he needed to grow. Rule 7. Prepare for loss to intensify love. Every evening, Marcus wrote, I imagine that today was my last day with Faustina. Every morning, I wake up grateful that it wasn't. This final rule seems counterintuitive. Why think about losing someone you love? The Stoics discovered that imagining loss prevents taking love for granted and prepares you emotionally for the inevitable challenges every relationship faces. When Faustina died in 175 AD, Marcus was devastated but not destroyed. His daily practice of imagining loss had prepared him to grieve fully while maintaining his character and responsibilities. This isn't about being pessimistic. It's about being present. When you remember that every relationship will end somehow, someday, you stop postponing appreciation and start practicing it immediately. The Emperor's final wisdom. After Faustina's death, Marcus wrote what might be the most beautiful tribute to Stoic love in history. She taught me that love is not about finding someone who completes you, but about becoming someone worthy of love. Not about possessing another soul, but about appreciating the miracle of sharing life with one. Not about avoiding the pain of loss, but about embracing the privilege of having something precious to lose. These 7 rules didn't make Marcus's love perfect. They made it authentic. They didn't eliminate all relationship challenges. They transformed challenges into opportunities for deeper connection. Applying Stoic love in the modern world. In our age of dating apps and instant gratification, these ancient principles offer a revolutionary approach to romance. Instead of swiping for perfection, look for authenticity. Instead of trying to impress, focus on being impressive. Instead of demanding exclusivity, inspire loyalty. Instead of avoiding vulnerability, embrace it as a gateway to intimacy. The Stoics understood something that modern dating culture has forgotten. The strongest relationships are built not on need, but on choice. Not on possession, but on appreciation. Not on control, but on trust. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, commanded vast armies, and controlled infinite wealth. Yet his greatest achievement wasn't military or political. It was learning to love like a philosopher. These 7 rules transformed an imperial marriage into a masterclass in human connection. They turned absolute power into humble devotion. They prove that the strongest people are those who love without needing to possess, who care without needing to control, who commit without losing themselves. Your love story might not be imperial, but it can be authentic. Your relationship might not last forever, but it can be meaningful. Your partner might not be perfect, but they can be perfectly appreciated. The question isn't whether you'll face relationship challenges. You will. The question is whether you'll face them with the wisdom of the ages or the reactivity of the moment. Marcus Aurelius would tell you, love like an emperor, not because you have power over someone, but because you have power over yourself. These rules don't guarantee that love will last forever, but they guarantee that whatever love you experience will be deeper, more authentic, and more transformative than you ever imagined possible. Start with one rule. Practice it in your current relationship, or prepare to use it in your next one. Notice how it changes not just your connection with others, but your relationship with yourself. Because the secret of Stoic love isn't just about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person. And when you master the art of loving like a philosopher, you don't just change your love life, you change your entire life. If this ancient wisdom transforms how you think about love, share it with someone who's ready for authentic romance. Subscribe for more imperial dating advice that actually works. Remember, you don't need to be an emperor to love like one. You just need to choose virtue over validation, freedom over possession, and authenticity over perfection. Stay loving, stay free, stay stoic.